So what if I told you that the most important message in the universe isn't written in a book? What if it's written in the laws of physics, in the code of our DNA, and in the spin of the galaxies? In this explainer, we're going to dig into this really cool idea that the creator's message has been hiding in plain sight this whole time, just waiting for the right translators to come along.
And this quote right here from the author Zhu Feng is the key that unlocks this whole thing. It asks us to stop looking for divinity in ancient texts and start seeing it woven into the fabric of reality itself, in the laws of nature that make everything tick.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out what this language without words even is. Then we'll meet its very surprising translators. After that, we'll look at the rules of reality they've uncovered, hear a direct translation of the creator's message, and finally figure out what it all means for you and me.
Okay, let's dive in. If the greatest creator isn't speaking in any human language we know, then what are we supposed to be listening for? What does this universal message actually look like?
Well, the source gives us an answer that's actually pretty simple, but it's huge. The creator's words are what ancient Chinese philosophy called the Tao, literally the way. And don't think of it as some mystical, floaty concept. Think of it as the actual observable laws of nature that run everything, from how a galaxy spins to how a cell divides. And this is where the idea gets really solid. We're not talking about vague feelings. We're talking about the language of science. You know, the elegance of E equals mc squared, the beautiful, complex blueprint of a DNA molecule, the absolute certainty of a math equation. The text argues these are the sentences and paragraphs of the creator's message. So, if the language is science and natural law, who are its translators? They're probably not the prophets or holy figures you might be thinking of. So who is it that's decoding the Tao for the rest of us? According to the source, the real translators are the great pioneers of human knowledge. We're talking about people like Einstein, who pulled back the curtain on space-time, or Marie Curie, who uncovered the building blocks of matter, and even ancient sages who mapped out the flow of the Tao. These are the people who, through just relentless observation and deep thinking, translate the universe's operating system into something we can all understand. And this is where it all gets really important. This isn't just a philosophical game. Understanding these laws, well, it has real, tangible effects on our lives. It's not about what you believe. It's about whether or not your actions line up with how the universe actually works. The source lays out two very different paths. On one side, you have people who find fulfillment, and it says they are the ones who, whether they know it or not, are living in sync with these natural laws. But on the other side, people who are struggling, spiritually or otherwise, are often the ones who are pushing against the grain of reality itself, ignoring these basic truths. And this really gets at the mindset. See, going against these words isn't about sinning in the traditional sense. It's about being stubborn when life gives you feedback, being impatient with how things naturally unfold, being totally inflexible in a world that's always changing. The suffering that comes from that isn't a punishment, it's just the natural result of creating friction with reality. It's like trying to swim against a strong current. Okay, now we get to the core of it all. The author, Zhu Feng, does something pretty bold. He gives us a direct translation of the message he believes the greatest creator is sending us through the Tao. So let's just listen to these translated words. The message starts by defining itself. This isn't some personal god demanding praise. It's the fundamental source of everything that exists, the starting point for life and wisdom, a guiding principle that's just everywhere. This part is basically a call to look deeper. It's urging us to see past the day-to-day distractions and look for the underlying patterns, the real laws that are hidden just beneath the surface of what we see and feel. And here we have a direct challenge to our consumer culture. The message is pretty blunt. Collecting more stuff doesn't make you happy. In fact, it usually just adds more stress. Real joy comes from pursuing wisdom, from understanding the laws of life. Now, notice the framing here. This isn't a commandment like "thou shalt not steal." It's a statement of cause and effect. It's saying that actions like theft and deceit aren't just wrong, they go against the harmonious order of things. And because of that, they automatically guarantee a future filled with problems. The message here is all about individuality. It's saying, hey, find out who you are and live that truth. Don't waste your energy trying to keep up with trends or measuring yourself against other people. Your path is your own. Whoa, okay, this is a big one. The author draws a really sharp line here between the universal, unchanging laws of nature,
the real words of the Creator, and the human-made structures of religion, which often clash. The idea seems to be, look to the source code of the universe itself, not just the human interpretations of it. Okay, so after hearing all that, the big question is, what do we do now? How do you actually live a life that's in harmony with all of this? Well, the source gives us a pretty clear guide. The whole philosophy boils down to these 5 practical principles, and you can see they're not some abstract rules. They're all about creating harmony. Harmony with your community, with knowledge, with society, with the planet, and of course, with yourself. It's a roadmap for living in tune with the Tao. And the source puts a special emphasis on one of these in particular. Protecting the earth isn't just a nice idea. It's presented as a fundamental law of nature. The logic is simple. If you cherish and protect your home, you'll have one. If you destroy it, you'll lose it. So in the end, the biggest takeaway is this powerful idea of self-responsibility. The Creator, as this set of natural laws, doesn't step in and save the day. The system is just set up. It rewards you when you align with it, and it creates consequences when you don't. The choice, and all the power that comes with it, is completely in your hands.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If the true words of the Creator are the laws of physics, biology, and cause and effect, then what are the unspoken laws that you live by? Are they in sync with the way reality actually works? And maybe most importantly, are they leading you toward the kind of fulfillment you're looking for?